can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. We got a special guest in the building today. I got the homie of Nerdz and Hip Hop, Joshua Brown, here with us.
Hey.
What's going on with you, pimp? What's going on with you? What brings you to the Blerd Cave? What's going on?
Yo, first and foremost, my guy, hey, how y'all doing out there? One time. And then also, I just want to say thank you, bro, for having me. It's good to meet you, man. Like, finally, like, you know what I mean? Connecting.
Dude.
I'm loving it. Yo,
well, it's crazy. It's crazy because, it's weird how content creation works. Like, you never realize, who your peers are, and just you start you start connecting with folks, and you start realizing, man, dude, this world is so much bigger than I thought it was, and you start realizing all these people like, oh, dude, I know who that is, because it's one of those deals. I was like, I know who Nerdz and Hip Hop are. So I was like, dude, yeah, let's do this. I guess let's go ahead and get right to it. So we got Nerdz and Hip Hop, like y'all are all over the internet, pretty much any social media space that you could potentially be on, you're on there, and y'all are just killing it, just talking up all the goody goodness out there in the nerd space, but also doing what I guess we're starting to see more. You didn't used to not see it as much, but now you see it a little bit more. Like, you start seeing more black and brown people out there who love all the stuff that us nerdy folks always do, like stuff like the video games, the anime, comics, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But also talking about it from the perspective of the culture, and what brought you to that?
Well, for me, just to answer your first question too, I was coming here real quick, mm-hmm. to talk to y'all about General Joshua, the comic I created, and what I'm referring to, what you're saying right now, mm-hmm. is that what got me in this space, or mental space, to do this is I've always had a liking for artwork and stuff like that. I've been full circle with it. It has chased me and plagued me my whole life. Couldn't get away from it. So it's like the ghost of Blerd past has never left me alone, man. It's like, growing up in LA to Inland Empire, I've had my fair share of chances to just, not be blerdy at all, not be nerdy at all. And it will never leave me alone. It's just who I am. It's my calling. So, segueing into why I created General Joshua, I created that before I created Nerdz and Hip Hop, to be honest with you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't.
Let's go.
It was like 3 years before, And it's just with Nerdz and Hip Hop, they was allow me to meet people like you, that have a voice or podcast, so that, Blerds and Nerds can get out there and talk about what they're doing, meeting other artists that are like, yo, hey, man, you need some help with this project and stuff like that. That's why, sorry to get all emotional fast, but that's why this community is so damn important, man, in a sense, because we always talk about how stories are getting bland and how many reboots there are, but there's so many people that have great stories but no resources. And I believe these Blerd communities and everything like that are making it possible. So,
dude, I love to see it. It's something that it's really something that I think is pretty cool about this, is that, we have so few of us out here in the creative spectrum. If you go back to the early days of comics, you go back to the 60s and 70s, you weren't seeing black people in the room. You weren't seeing black and brown people in the room talking about the comics, or much less creating the comics. We didn't really start seeing that till you started getting to maybe the 80s and then the early 90s. You started seeing more of us out here contributing to the spectrum of art in comics. And now it's starting to become a thing, we're starting to see more, but I still feel like, man, we aren't quite there yet with and not to say we don't have the numbers, it's just we don't have the spotlight. We don't have the eyes on us the way that I feel like we should, up to this point.
I feel you. Yeah. I think it's up to us, this this generation right now, us groups, when I say us, I mean people that are in your and I age bracket to lower, to get it done. We got to just do it and go hardcore. You know, one of the things that I face coming up as a youngster, like, you know what I mean, it's not just acceptance. It's, you know, you need, people could say, like, you know, they clown cheerleaders all the time. Oh, you're a cheerleader, or you're this, you're that. But at the same time, you need those. You need those in your circle, man, to help you feel empowered sometimes. And I know everybody's like, yo, self-empowerment's the thing, but come on, let's be honest, man. Sometimes a helpful compliment helps steer you in the right direction, especially when you're young and impressionable. You know,
you need somebody to put the cape on for you. Like, you know, if we put the cape on for each other, I feel like we get further.
Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I promise you, it would have helped. Like, when I was younger, dude, like, when I did rapping and everything like that, emceeing and rapping and everything, like, I had a whole list of people. It's like, yo, that's what I'm talking about, Josh. You getting it, man? All right, cool. When I did boxing for a while, they were like, yo, that's dope, man. You out there fighting it. Okay, cool. Yo, I'm creating a comic. Crickets. What comic?
It's like, what? It's like, what you doing?
Yeah, like, what?
Oh, you mean
like,
you gonna be down?
Comic?
You're gonna be at the club later doing stand up for, like, you know.
Yeah, like, you know, it's like, I don't know, but so it's like you potentially in that sense have to, unless you're in that friend group or have that Blerd community like we do now, you know what I mean, you gotta wing that on your own. You gotta, like, you know, like, you gotta be your best supporter, like, you know what I'm saying? Look to God or something, like, you know what I mean? That's it. Like, it's all.
Man, look, it took me a long time to get used to the idea of people, like, being supportive of what I do, like, just because it's kind of the same thing when people realize that, like, they see you doing anything creative. It doesn't matter whether it's music, or, you know, you're an artist, you're a writer, you're a poet, you're a rapper, whatever it is you do. I always feel like sometimes people have a hard time wrapping their head around whatever, like, if you switch the game up a little bit, you start doing something that maybe people don't normally associate with you. But, like, I feel like, you know, if we embrace situations like that, you get a lot. I think you would get a lot more creativity. And not just from those particular people, but you would get more people who were willing to take that leap. Because I know tons of people, tons of folks that, you know, they got a story in their back pocket. You know, they got a character in their back pocket. They got, you know, some kind of a concept for something in their back pocket, and they never pull the trigger on it. You know, because they don't have that. They don't have the folks like what we're talking about coming in saying, hey, man, yeah, dude, I like what you're doing, man. Stay on it. Yeah.
Bro, that's it. You're so right. Like, I've been a writer my whole life, pretty much. You know what I mean? Creative writing in this way or that way. And, you know, every time I talk about writing to a lot of people, and some of these people have very, very interesting lives, you know, they'd be like, man, I've been needing somebody to write. I've been wanting to write a book about my life. It's crazy. Man, you think you could do it? And I'm like, yeah. Well, why do you think you can't? Like, why don't you think you can? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and not like I want to shy away from the work, but believe us, it becomes more than just, you know, people always saying, like, be yourself, or, man, just stand on your own, stuff like that. Some people need that support system, man. Like, you know what I mean? So that they can get started, get the ball rolling, and then they learn to fly, like, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So I don't knock anybody that needs support systems sometimes, man, because it's healthy and it's helpful. And, you know, I don't mind being it. And that's what Nerdz and Hip Hop was about, was, you know, me shouting out a lot of people. At first, before, you know, I start putting some of my stuff that I do on there, I was just shouting people out, man. Like, oh, that's dope. Like, I don't care if you have 1 follower to 1 million. I'm going to shout you out because you're doing something dope and somebody needs to tell you that. I don't know if they did today, but I'll be it.
Well, I mean, and that's what I've always appreciated, you know, about what you do with that, because, like, I've seen y'all shout out, you know, not just artists, I've seen y'all shout out, like, cosplayers, you know, pretty much anybody doing something creative that, you know, they're putting their heart and their soul into it. They're actually trying to build up something, or trying to just put themselves out there. And, yeah, I like I said, man, I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome entirely. But I guess the other thing I want to jump on too is, because we mentioned General Joshua earlier. So you say you've had this story, like, just in your back pocket, like, you, since before you even started doing Nerdz and Hip Hop. So what was the inspiration there? And I guess also, tell us, what's the comic about ultimately? Like, what is? I guess if you had to elevator pitch it.
Okay. Cool. Like, since it's being a series, I like to tell people like this. It's like the Book of Eli meets Supernatural with a little bit of that movie Left Behind. It's basically General Josh was about a flawed fighter who, he's very selfish in nature, very vengeful. But his destiny is to become the general of the last freedom fighting army in the world. And he goes head to head with a tyrant that's got peculiar powers named World Leader, who's pretty much like the devil in the flesh. And his whole process is to take the last people on Earth and weaponize them as something that he can fight against God in the Battle of Armageddon with. So it's a real gritty comic, you know what I mean? So for people that just think it's like, just this, take me to church thing, like, you know what I mean? It's not, it's very warrior-esque, like, you know what I mean? So but at the same time, it has a good feel and good message behind it. Like, you know what I mean? Which one will men choose at the end of time? Like, you know what I mean? The love of God and love, or war and vengeance. Like, you know what I mean? Because we're teetering on that. So it touches on all the political issues we have now, touches on all the social issues we have now, but wrapped up in this, a fun at times, but like I said, gritty comic that really delves into like spiritual warfare and human warfare,
I dug it. For me personally, I say this all the time on the channel. Anyone that's been following for a long time will probably already know what I'm about to say. I like a good social, economic, and political commentary. I eat it for breakfast. So just the idea of the world leader, the idea of that plan to, or the effort rather, to try and dominate and take everything over, try and lead people away from the path, this, that, and the third. I actually really ate it up because I thought it was cool. Because not to mention, looking at that, at the villain of this, I was like, you look like every horrible politician that I've ever taken a look at. So it was easy. So it was really easy to just be like, man, I don't like this dude.
Yo,
on top of just being a bad person, that aside.
It's fun. I love it because, with that character, I try to tell people this all the time. I got inspiration from especially Patrick Bateman, American Psycho. That was one of my high inspirations. And then what was the guy from Breaking Bad?
We're talking about Walter White.
No, the other bad guy that you didn't see, that brother that was he's in a lot of things now.
Like talking about Gus? Yeah. Gus. Yeah, Gus. Yeah. Oh man, yes. Giancarlo Esposito. Man, that's my dude right there.
Yes, exactly. I love the whole hiding behind how eloquent this person is. And then it's just like, but they have a bad side that you would never see coming. And the thing is that the thing that I liked about Patrick Bateman or whatever like that, well, probably need to say his real name so people know who I'm talking about. Christian Bale, his character in American Psycho was, it was funny because it was on me and my wife really recently at the hotel. She was watching it a little bit. It's like, this is where you got your some of the inspiration for your character. I'm like, yeah. I was like, she was just like, this movie is crazy. And I was like, I know, but it's so dope because this dude, you don't see him coming. He's literally saying what his intentions are and everything like that. People are just like, are we going to dinner? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, what the heck? He just said, I probably have a murdering problem. I've killed 6 people and I'm probably going to kill more.
Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's all good.
And so I thought that would be like the dopest idea for a bad guy to have a power where he says whatever the hell he wants to you. Like, your breath smells like a socket wrench. And you just like, oh my God, I did get a new haircut today. Thank you for noticing. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, all you're hearing is what you want to hear. And the thing is how that plays out in the story in so many different ways, and that you'll continue to see. There's so many levels to this character, is that the thing you'll continue to see is that society as a whole, we see what we want to see. We get mad at the people we want to get mad at. We cancel the people we want to cancel. Not everybody that needs to be canceled, and not everybody that is supposed to be canceled. We just operate off of what we really want, and so his character just does the most outlandish things. And to people that are more aware, it's like, yo, did you see how that played out? That's fucking crazy. Like, what are we gonna do about that? And they're like, what are you talking about? Everything's fine.
It's like, we didn't see anything.
You know? Yeah, so it's crazy, bro. And so later, even getting into the character is just that even what he's perceived as, you know, later on, you'll find it odd because he goes through the whole story, even from the first part, being called world leader. Like, where's his name? Like, you know, why didn't anybody ask him questions?
Like, he has no identity outside of what people see him like as face value. Yeah,
exactly. And so we'll even play with that later because, you know, the fact that he's white right now, like, you know what I'm saying? And people might be like, yo, is it like a play on, you know, racial issues? The funny thing about it is when you get into the comic later, you'll really understand that it wouldn't matter what color he picked. He can pick any color he wants to be. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the fact is that he does what plays into this world's psyche. Like, you know what I'm saying? What this world would see him as in order to get where he needs to get. Like, you know what I mean? It's going to get really deep. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, this is the beginning. I wanted to throw people in here and something that they can see, sink their teeth into, begin to understand, and then we're going to get outlandish with this shit.
Dude, well, and like I said, for me, I just really think it's a cool take because you were talking about some of the inspirations earlier, like your books of Eli, so on and so forth, and like it was one of those deals where like, yeah, it's that kind of, you got a little bit of everything here for, I think, anyone to be able to find something to latch onto. Like, you got some of the, I guess, kind of, there's the apocalyptic undertones, there's also like the action, and like you got like we can't forget the main character of the entire book, but like you've got like the hero of the story who they're somewhat stoic, but at the same time you can tell, like, right off rip when I started reading, I was like, this cat's got a past. This cat's been through some stuff. Let's let this cat breathe a little bit so they can kind of tell us a story. You slowly kind of, I guess, warm up to the characters. That character, I guess, is trying to walk their own path. You're kind of going on that journey with them and like learning more and more and more as you just kind of hear what they have to say. Like, what was the inspiration about like what was the inspiration as a whole behind the character of General Joshua?
Dope. I appreciate that. Okay, so that's his character. Like, I got inspired by Vegeta, of course, Dragon Ball Z, and Vin Diesel's character, Riddick, and just, we get introduced to this character who definitely, you can see him as a badass. Like, that's just how he starts out, like, he's doing his thing. And, but he's got this leadership thing. He's got people shouting his name. It's like a group of people just shouting his name, like, So, he's the leader of something. So the thing is, I wanted to tell a story of an unlikely leader. Like, we have so many leaders in this world, like, and it could be like the Naruto. People could say, oh, it's like the Naruto arc of him, like, wanting to be like a Hokage. But it's different because Naruto actually had faith that he would become Hokage one day. I wanted to take this character from the standpoint of your average Black American, like, saying that, has ambitions, has drive, but it's mostly toward fame and fortune, because that's what we think of when we think of high tier. I hardly grew up with anybody that thought of himself as president, thought of himself as a civil rights leader or activist. I've heard nothing like that growing up. Like, besides maybe a few, like maybe wanted to be a lawyer or something like that, but not many. So the thing is that, not clowning, like, our people, none of that.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I'm really just taking it as a stance in there, is that's what he wanted in life. Like, was to be that. That's how he wanted to acquire fame. But if you look at it, he acquired fame in a certain way. But if that's going backwards, like, I mean, he acquired fame and who he needed to be, but who he was really called to be was a leader of a people, like, you know what I mean? And the thing is that we go back into the story so that we can see who he is, why he is, what drove him, like, you know what I mean? And I wanted it to be a long origin story because, you know, as a comic reader as a kid, I was like, the people that died or the people that meant something to them or I couldn't feel it. It was too quick.
Yeah.
Like, you know, hey, Uncle Ben died. I didn't even know what the fuck Uncle Ben was. Like, so I'm sorry,
I don't know that dude.
But, like, I don't know him, like, you know what I mean? So me giving it a more drawn out origin story is so that you feel it. I wanted people, I've always been a writer that wanted people to feel things. And I wanted them to feel it like, yo, this is why this guy is who he is. So I wanted to give him an unlikely leadership, like, you know what I mean? And I keep, if you want to call it preaching on that all the time, is that, you know, the most unlikely leaders are the best leaders, man, because they're unjudgmental leaders in the sense of they done been through some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Well, that's something I've always kind of believed in as well. And I think that's probably why I gravitated to the character as much as I did, is because I've always been of the belief that I'm more likely to follow somebody who is my leader, who didn't seek the job out, you know, who didn't try to prop themselves up to that position. Like someone who the burden of leadership was thrust upon them. They didn't go out into the world saying, no, I'm in charge. I'm going to be the HNIC up in here, and that's just all it is to it. That's kind of how I looked at it. I looked at it as someone who just, it's like, oh, well, I guess I'm the one. Yeah, like, and that's just, it is what it is. And it might not have been the situation that I was looking for, but here we are. You know?
Exactly. And that abolishes what people always say is like, oh, you're a leader. And this is a thing all across everywhere. You're a leader when you have followers. No, because you have to be a leader before that. Like your ideologies, your thought process, the way you do stuff makes people follow you. It's like when, like, even like if we go back to the Book of Eli, like that movie, The Book of Eli, like, I mean, he wasn't trying to be nobody's damn leader. He was by himself. Yeah. He was on his Mad Max thing. That's another reason why I always love that character, Mad Max. Like, it's doing their own thing, being badass by themselves. People like, hey, whoa. You're a survivor. I need to learn from you. Like, you know, so it's
you get people to believe in you. Yeah, you through your actions and just your actions alone, people see you and they're like, no, okay, you've inspired me. And because you've inspired me, I want to stick with you. And honestly, I think those are the best leaders. I've always felt those are like I couldn't see myself in a situation like what you have in the setting of General Joshua trying to follow anyone else. Like, exactly. I would just be like, I don't know about this cat over here talking about how, yeah, man, I got this. I'm in charge, y'all. Don't worry about. I like, no. You suspect. I don't. You might be up to something. Like world leader comes like, hey, man, look, I got y'all. Look. We gonna get through this, man. Look, y'all just roll with me. You ain't got nothing to worry about. It's like, nah, something about you ain't right. This cat over here, he ain't protested too much. I gotta roll with him because he seems like he knows what's what. He knows when it's time to talk and when it's time for action. And that's kind of, and I like those kinds of characters, because you can do so much with a character like that if you just let them breathe. Let them just do their thing. Like, you know, it doesn't even have to be like bombastic. Like, it's just gonna come naturally for them.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, man, because there's so many characters in here that like the audience will get to know and love in their own ways. And I think it will be dope because you see, like in the second comic, you're gonna get introduced to Aquila and Caliber, these two world-class assassins, like, you know what I mean, that are awesome in their own sense. And you know, then Michael, the Archangel, you know what I mean, and all these characters kind of have a play in the role of how Joshua becomes this immaculate leader that knows how to do it all. Like he's like he goes from being Robin to Batman. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's got, you know what I mean? Because Robin's got the talent, he's got some talent and stuff like that, but lacks the, you know, the mental capacity to be a Batman. Like, I mean, yeah, that just I know what to do in these situations. I know how to coach and tell and delegate. People don't understand how big a power being able to delegate is. Being a leader is dope. But if you don't know how to, like, hey, Johnson, you go over there. This person go over there. Like, you see it on TV all the time. And be like, yeah, that's what I would do if I was a leader. Just tell Johnson to go over here. But no. To actually be a dope leader is you're assessing skill while telling them to go there. Like, no, I'm going to tell Johnson to go over there because he knows how to guard the door. He's the heaviest with the guns. He's this, da-da-da-da. I'm going to tell what's his name to go over there because they got the best lookout eye and da-da-da-da. Like, you know what I mean? It's playing leader. There's people that play leader, and there's people that know how to lead. They know how to play point guard.
I know a lot of people kind of play it for laughs, or you know, the movie kind of plays it for laughs. But you know, that scene in Avengers where Captain America's like delegating to everybody, like, okay, you do this, you go do that, like because it is kind of it's played goofy just because you're like, oh wow, look, he's trying to be the leader. It's like, but the thing is, he wasn't wrong about where he put people, and people trusted him because he leaned into what it was. He like, okay, I know what your strengths are. This is where you're going to be better suited. And so, yeah, and it's a trait I wish I had. I'm terrible at delegation because I always feel like, man, I wouldn't want to put anybody through some mess that I wouldn't want to personally do myself. But sometimes but that is kind of the thing. And I think that is honestly a superpower, like, in and of itself. It's a superpower
and
in
it's
and of
a
itself.
burden. It's a burden. Like, let's not put too much ease on it. Being a leader is a burden because you generally, as you know, you're raised. I was raised to mind my business and leave people the hell alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? So who I look like telling you, hey man, go do that. Well, that's more work than the other guy. And I just say, hey, nah, shut up. That's how that's gonna go. Like, you know what I mean? It's hard for me to do that. I'm a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day,
you can't be nice and be like that kind of a leader at the same time with it, because it's such a difficult. That's a tightrope. It's such a tightrope, and it's like, I know me. I'd be like, nah, you know, I'd be like, hey man, can you do this? And the first time somebody was just like, I don't want to do that, I'd be like, nah, that's cool.
Yeah, right. That's me. I'll be like, oh shit, I don't want to do it either, man. So I guess that's not gonna get done. Like, and then you get this I don't care attitude. But see, it's funny because even in the book, if you look at the first pages of Joshua, when, you know, after the fight and everything like that, he's like, this person go do this, that person go do this. And then he gets to the point where he's telling even the guy, like, well, get him ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? For, like, because we're fighting out here. Like, you know, and then you fast forward to when you're seeing him still a younger man, which we're going through that process through the course of the book series, you know, is that his brother even has to tell him, look, man, hey, tell them what to do. Like, you know what I mean? When they're at the shootout and he's like, yo, you're the leader. Like, tell them. Like, it was subtle. But it's to let you know this dude is gifted, but he doesn't know how to access the gifts of everybody else and tell them what to do. Although they already made him leader, they're like, yo, you're the guy. Like, you know what I mean? And some of them people have already been soldiers. He hasn't even been a soldier for that long. And they're like, yo, you're that guy. Like, you know what I mean? And he doesn't believe in himself. You know what I mean? He's too busy just doing what he wants to do. I'm saving me and my brother and the rest of you if I can. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like,
I respect that. I respect that. But like, let me ask you this. So the comic itself, and I'm curious to know how many, like, how far down the stretch have you planned out General Joshua? Like how far down the road are we talking?
Oh man, you wouldn't believe me. I told you. Like, I'm literally gonna do this series for a long time. Like, and you know, I haven't done all the outward work on, you know, all the issues and everything like that, because I'm not the artist. The artist is Martin Patron, or he likes to go by Martin Patron. What's going on, bro? If you see this, you know what I mean? Very, very dope guy. You know, so, and of course there'll be other artists and everything as I go along with this. But my thing is that, like I said, I have all this mapped out, all this episode upon episode of, you know, series upon series of it. And like I said, it's just moving it. And I don't know, being honest, I don't know shit about marketing and business. I'm learning all that as we speak. So, you know what I mean?
I don't know anything about it either. I'm
a creative, bro. Like, I'm a creative. I'm learning all this stuff, man. And like, you know, and it's, as tedious as it is, I feel like it's necessary so that I can get this series some legs, because the one thing I can't keep doing is doing this out of my own pocket, because it's just way too hard.
Yeah.
But I'll do it. I'll definitely do it as long as it takes, man, to get it till I know everything I need to know about marketing and business to make it flourish so that I can keep creating it, because beyond it being a fun comic, beyond it being, anything that somebody takes from it, like, this or that, I believe it has a very powerful message about togetherness and, in the face of an imminent threat. Like, we all latch on to each other through all walks of life. I don't care if you're black, white, Indian, Hispanic, gay, straight, bi, whatever. I don't care. Like, everybody's got to, most likely come together in a situation like that when, free will is being fucked with. Like, we're not talking about just because like how World Leader does it. It's like you either ride with me or you die. Like, what I'm saying? There ain't no in betweens. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, but see, the thing is, Pete, but the funny thing about it is that we'll get into the comic later is he doesn't even dress it like that. He just comes, he just like, instead of saying, come with me or you'll die, it's more like, come with me because the other side, you will die. Like you'll die out there without me. Like, you know what I mean? So he dresses like, I'm telling you, it's not what you say. It's how you say it. Like,
right.
So
no, 100%.
Like World Leaders, like we haven't even got into the bed of his slickness, bro. This dude is just dummy slick. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to come at him as like, oh, just the average devil character that we see. And he's just inherently evil and all that. No, the dude is slick. He's been here for years, eons and ages, bro, underneath different names, underneath different categories, underneath like different of ways of being. He has vast knowledge on how we move as human beings, bro. Like, so it's like he's not gonna come in there and be a dick all the time and just like, I'm the devil. So like, what I mean? No, he's dope, bro. Like people are gonna end up probably liking that character a lot. Like, what I mean? And it's like, it says a lot about you if you do. I'm just kidding.
Look, hey, just keep it real, man. Keep it real.
Hey, shit, like, Josh was very violent. That'll say something about you. You like him too. Like, what I mean? So it's so funny too, because I'm just telling everything. You're making me do this. No, I'm just like, but it's it's very fun. It's very fun because Joshua is inherently violent, and then he's going to be given powers, of course, via the next issue that we see. And when he gets his powers, like, what I mean, he's going to use them to get vengeance. That's what he knows. Like, what I mean? And the thing is that it so correlates with how he's going to like it too. Like, he's one of those type of persons that, like, what I mean, he fights while smiling. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just how what it is. Like,
you don't want to fight a cat like that, man. That cat lets you that something ain't right.
Yeah, exactly, dude. And it's just like he gets some semblance of closure to what his life has been, because it's been bad and it's been violent, like, what I mean? And it's just like he gets closure, like he gets some kind of a feeling of good emotion when that happens. So the thing is that where people will think like World Leader is just like hating this dude and after him, he's after him, but for a different reason. He kind of wants to recruit him, like, what I mean? Like, it's like, yo, you kind of look like me. I feel like we're inviting each other. Yeah, like, you could be a really good asset, like, what I mean? Because this guy is mentally, like, the line that was tucked in the first, beginning of the book, what I mean, when they were younger, is about the mindset of hurting because you were hurt. Like, what I mean, people don't know how deep that is and how much that plays in the human mental, like, like, and the whole social thing of everything. Like, a lot of people, like, that want cancel culture and want to like, they want to see retribution a lot. Sometimes that's justice, and I'm not taking away from that, because there's some terrible people in this world. Like, what I mean, there's and sometimes it's just that you really want to see somebody harmed. You want to see them attacked. Because, like, take for instance, like The Rock right now, like, what I mean? It's funny, like, a lot of people are like, yeah, they just want to be, like, they really just want to be mad at The Rock for no real concrete reason. Yeah, it's like, dude, like, are you serious? Like, for what? Like, what I mean? Like, or like, we hate Will Smith. Like, I can't stand Will Smith. Like, I don't think he should have slept with Rock. Like, I don't think he should have. But some people are taking it to the next extreme. Like, I'll never watch another Will Smith movie again. Like,
look,
God, really?
Look, man,
Like,
I'm not gonna sit here and act like if they made a Men in Black 4 with Will Smith in it. Well, I guess they did make a Men in Black 4. But they made a Men in Black 5 with Will Smith in it. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I wouldn't be doing a little "Here comes the Men in Black," walking into the theater. I'm not gonna sit here and act like that, okay? I don't care. I don't care. Look, he ain't slapped me.
You see, no, it's the thing. It's just the thought, bro. Like the thought, like it's like, okay, I get the whole thing, like R. Kelly or something like that, but like Will Smith, it's like, God, yeah, he slapped somebody, and he shouldn't have did that. I like Chris Rock, like I mean, and I feel like you know, brothers as a whole, like man, public violence to each other, we got to chill on that anyway. But you know, it's just like the thought of how people are. Let's take Will Smith out of the category for right now. It's just people are. I need to see this vengeance. I need to see this played out. Like I said, I told people, I said, man, one day we're gonna get back to the point to where like we execute people in the Coliseum. Like you know what I'm saying? Feed them the lions, just to feed the anger hunger of this world. Like
and
I mean, it's everybody against everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and just to feel something, because like hurt is like the most common, I would say, like feeling, the most common feeling that people love to inflict. Maybe even just a little more than love, which is a scary thought. I'll say this, and I guess we go ahead and wrap it up. Where can people get General Joshua? Like how can people get their hands on this comic?
Oh, dope, man. Well. You guys could go to my page on Instagram. That's _ General Joshua _ all together. And then hit the link in my bio. It'll say Koji on it. And then you guys could go in there and get it in ebook form. Or you can go ahead and check out some of the videos that I've just dropped, and probably another one today and tomorrow that says comment yes in those videos. And we'll add you to the list of people so that we can start to pre-sale the hard copy again. Because the first show we did, this hard copy sold out. And, I'm trying to get back hard copy books, man, because I thought everybody wanted ebook, but a lot of people want the hard copy. So I'm going to make that happen. But I need you guys' support. So,
well, hey, look, we're gonna have a link in the description to all the socials, all the pertinent stuff. So, hey, if any of what we have been talking about here for this last little bit sounds even the slightest bit of interest to you, go check out those links. And I'll be honest with you, go check this comic out, because while we've been talking it up, I can't say enough how cool I actually thought this was. Just the idea of, the commentary that's on display here, the type of character that we have here in General Joshua, the antagonist, just the setup of everything, and just how I can, and we were talking earlier about like the inspirations behind it. Like you can see little pieces of it like here and there, but like you can see those pieces like becoming like their own thing, and like kind of evolving into this entirely just out there story that is just, it feels so visceral and so real, and probably because it feels like something that could probably happen any minute now, just based on the way the world is right now. But at the same time, like it's just, I don't know. It was really fun for me. So I gotta say this. Thank you so much, man, for that review, bro. Like, I gotta tell your fans right now, I was scared to come on here, bro. Like, low-key, I wasn't scared, but I was like, I'm nervous a little bit, because, man, his team told me, it's like, hey, man, you can go on there, you can give me your comic if you want to. I was like, what? What's gonna happen? You gonna hurt me? It's like, you might hurt your feelings, though. Yeah, you might throw your comic out the window. So I was like, I said, my mama raised a thug. I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna clean up. If he says it's trash, I'm just gonna take that and I'm gonna try to do better. Nah, dude, I really enjoyed it. I 100% enjoyed it. I thought it was great. But like I said, I can't wait to see what you do next. With the story, what's next for General Joshua, and I guess that's it. Thank you so much for coming on here with me and talking about this, and talking about General Joshua, talking about nerds and hip hop, and just chopping it up. And
yes, sir.
I guess everybody keep tuned to what he's got coming up next. So y'all heard it here first. Joshua Brown, General Joshua, Nerds and Hip Hop. Y'all go check all of it out. And we'll see y'all next time. Bamf.